Hello everyone, Dark Shadow Films 101 here, bringing you yet another glorious fanfiction reading. Today I'm going to be reading my very first cold read, believe it or not. I actually started reading this one a little bit. The little bit that I read I enjoyed a lot, and decided not to finish it to get a little bit of raw emotion and reaction with this particular story. So, it's like we're going on this adventure together. Anyway, the story for today is called Trixie in a Journey of Friendship by Alchemystudent. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1. Friendship is Weird. Author's Note. Warning. What you are about to read is my insanity being unleashed. You might laugh, be weirded out, or run from the computer screaming and want to hunt me down like a dog. This fic should not be read if you are nursing, pregnant, Zutara fan, balding, have a long nose, think the world is round, have allergies to fans, are allergic to air, or have an X chromosome. Side effects of reading a fic where I lose it are loss of sleep, sanity, desire to live, bunny attacks, random attraction to Fluttershy, poison, gasping, pestilence, wanting to go to sleep during the day, sparkling, and flutterdash. Why are these people coming after me with this fanfic? Fluttershy tries to fly away. Trixie's Bag of Tricks. A black mare watches the earth float across the sky, her mind thinking of only one thing: revenge. In her mind, she still remembers how her sister threw her into this moon prison, left to suffer a millennia of cold, warmless nights without so much as a touch of another pony. How could she not wait for the bonds of enslavement to be broken and for eternal night to begin? Nightmare Moon! An armadillo-like creature appears before the mare and is promptly blasted by a random lightning bolt spell. I hate when people interrupt my thoughts. Now, where was I? Eternal hate for sister? Check. Desire to break free? Check. Nightmare Moon checked off some more of her list while the creature got up. You must listen to me, Nightmare Moon. Your days as an evil queen are doomed. I am an oracle from an alternate dimension that has great knowledge. The oracle produced a sphere while the pony shrugged, her starry mane floating in space. Fine. Tell me, O oracle, what wisdom do you have to tell me why I am going to be beaten? The mare in the moon got onto her knees, a bored look in her eyes. Your plan will fail due to one thing you did not count on: the power of Celestia's student, Twilight Sparkle. The creature showed an image of Twilight heading to Ponyville. Even now, she is heading there to meet allies that will help her activate the elements of harmony and defeat you. He then showed images of her defeat, and the power of the rainbow, complete with a sign that says, Taste the rainbow, motherfucker? So, what you are saying is, to ensure perfect victory is to corrupt the innocent Twilight Sparkle, make her mine, and use her as my personal weapon. Nightmare Moon rose up, smiling. Well, yes, that would be what you could do, but your plan will be foiled because the creature was interrupted. And since Twilight would be only one of two ponies who know of the power of the elements, I would be safe, and the night would last eternal. Nightmare Moon walked around. Which also means I can find a way to get her and use the elements for me. Oh, thank you. The black mare wrapped her hooves around the oracle. But I was... The oracle stood there dumbfounded. You know, I was thinking of how my plans could be foiled, and now you have just told me everything. Thank you. Nightmare Moon clapped her hooves together happily. This was just to tell you of how you could be beaten, so you would see how you were going to fail. I was trying to tell you to give up, the oracle thought to himself. Man, I stink at this job. Celestia looked up into the heavens, watching the night sky float overhead. She could see the stars moving towards the moon. The white alicorn smiled. All was going according to her plan, and soon her beloved sister would be back home where she belonged. She knew she should have set the elements of harmony from imprisoned to cure. How on earth could have she have missed that switch? She will never know. Luckily, Twilight is observant enough to note small details. Celestia, my queen, the chariot to Ponyville is ready. Oh, just hold it up for a bit and tell no one that I am not coming. I want to look like I'm very late. Celestia smiled, her most evil grin as she turned herself into a young unicorn with a light yellow mane, a sun on her flank for her cutie mark. Ma'am, are you going to play another trick like you did 3 years ago? The soldier asked. Oh, you mean the one where I made the sun blue for a few minutes and pretended the sun was getting old? Celestia, now as sunny days, smiled as she prepared to teleport to Ponyville. No, that was 2 years ago, ma'am. 3 years ago you pretended to be a tyrant and held the sun for ransom until you got 400 cakes from Hoofington, the soldier said as he watched Celestia teleport away. Once Celestia arrived at the center of Ponyville, where she was expected to appear, she could see the people already looking nervous. She, in her disguise, had to hold back a giggle as she heard the ponies give out their explanations as to why she had yet to appear. Then she watched with a smile as Nightmare Moon made her appearance, giving out the speech about eternal night. Oh, sister, always a flair for the dramatic. Little did you know that I have had a mole. Sunny plucks off the mole off her right cheek. And I have my ace in the hole. That's right. Twilight announced to the crowd who that mare is, and... What the frack? So, you are the beloved student of my captor. Greetings, Twilight Sparkle. Nightmare Moon smiled as she wrapped her misty hair around the purple unicorn. You know me? Wait, what's going on? Ah! Twilight screamed as the smoke enveloped her, turning her mane and coat black, her cutie mark into a starry sky. Oh, real original, sis. Black. Why not give her a name like Eclipse to show her change? Sunny was interrupted by Nightmare Moon's announcement. Now arise, Eclipse! Nightmare Moon laughed as Twilight arose, her dark eyes looking around the crowd. Now, if you all need me, I will be at the palace of the Royal Pony Sisters, getting my home ready and prepared for the tribute. You want us, please make an appointment. Nightmare Moon enveloped her servant in the smoke and disappeared. Well, there goes my plan. Guess I'm going to have to nuke the planet again. Maybe a girl in G5 will be able to save Luna. No, bad Celestia. Can't keep nuking planets every time a plan goes wrong. The Transformers still haven't recovered. I need a new plan. I guess Plan B will work. And with that, Celestia teleported away. The place? Clopton Forge. The person? One Sam's Force as he sits down at his computer to type. He is suddenly transported into the human world, where he meets his human counterpart. Together, they fight crime. What? What the hell? The place, Hoofington, where a small stage is erected. Ladies and gentlecoats, feast your eyes on the great and powerful Trixie. Now, Trixie knows of the eternal night situation and the fact that we could all eventually die from cold and the like. However, this does not mean that we should be bored and denied the greatness of me. Now, let's start the show. However, before the light blue mare could begin her show, she was whisked away by a giant hand. In a flash, the young and fabulous unicorn, description provided by Trixie, was transported to an underground bunker. What? Where is Trixie? What have you done? What do you want? What I want, oh powerful Trixie, is you. I have an urgent request from Celestia. Sunny Days came out, trying her best to compliment and woo the stage pony. Oh, the princess finally realized her mistake and has decided to take Trixie into her school and give her the praise that Trixie so rightfully deserves? Trixie looked into Sunny's eyes with hope. No, but Celestia needs you to go to the Everfree forest and go and get the elements of harmony to save all of Equestria, Sunny said. So, you expect Trixie to risk life and limb, risk her life to find something that probably doesn't even exist so she can face off against number 2 on Equestria's most deadly? Trixie looked one hoof almost out the door. Yes, Sunny nodded, and then heard the door slam, and the sound of footsteps racing out the door. No! Trixie is by no means stupid. Trixie continued to run, her tail grabbed by a magic hand. But if you do, you will get fame and glory, Sunny said. Trixie has reconsidered and decided to go. With that, Trixie raced off. Wait, don't you need some help? From some, well, I could see where this is going. The young unicorn brings out her copy of The Legend of the Mare Duel and begins to read as she waits. What am I reading? The Everfree Forest, a dark place, with dark feelings, with dark ideals, and dark... Oh, will someone turn on a light already? Click. Thank you. Trixie stood before... What the fuck? Oh, God. Sorry. Trixie stood before the entrance to the forest, ready to achieve greatness. She knew the road to be tough, but she had no fear in her body at all. I do not care what to tell Trixie, good narrator, sir. But Trixie is frightened out of her mind. Trixie looked at the camera. The blue unicorn. Oh my God. The blue unicorn walked slowly into the woods, her mind on the prize. She had picked up a map of the forest from Big Bob's Plot Convenience Emporium. What the fuck? Oh, God. Sorry. Big Bob's Plot Convenience Emporium and Snack Bar from just down the street and began to follow it to the letter. Crossing off a cliff, the filly decided it was best to walk around it. This was her downfall as the cliff gave away, causing her to fall and hit several rocks on the way down. Slowly getting up, she adjusted her hat. Humph, Trixie has faced worse. Trixie then heard a growl right behind her. Gulp. Slowly turning around, she faces a giant manticore. You do not frighten Trixie, you big cat. Trixie was taming beasts like when she was but a foal. The manticore in question was a little bitty kitty with a temper problem. You, sir, are no different. Take this! She then whipped at the manticore several times, only to watch her whip cut into pieces. Oh boy, this will hurt. After a few minutes later, Trixie walked slowly away, her body covered in cuts, stabs, and bites. The manticore was busy picking his teeth with Trixie's wand in the meantime. Trixie soon came across a raging river, ignoring a crying sea serpent. Undaunted, Trixie decided to do the only thing she could do. This will be easy for Trixie to swim in. The next few minutes of the young filly's life were filled with misery and pain. Walking deeper into the woods, Trixie kept on mumbling to herself about the reward that was to come from this adventure. Fame and glory, fame and glory. She looked about herself to see that she was now surrounded by lifelike trees that resembled monsters. Well, they are just trees. What could they do? Trixie then noticed that they began to surround her. Slowly, they walked to her and chanting the same thing. Raping time, raping time, raping time. Backing her up to a wall, stretching out their hands to her. Wait, what are you? No, you wouldn't! She watched in horror as they put their branches onto her legs, rubbing as she began to struggle. No, don't! Not that! Don't touch me there! No! 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 This is Elira Heartstrings with a public service announcement. A lime green unicorn popped out, rocking the scene in question, dressed in a sexy newscaster uniform. Rape is not funny. It is a horrible and violent act that is in no way sexual or fun. It can leave a person horribly scarred or traumatized. It should never be used for one-off gag or plot point at all. It should never be done, unless it's a game, and that you and your... She slowly turns off to see Bonbon dressed in a princess outfit. Oh, please, you mean old tyrant, don't hurt me at all. I am so innocent, Bonbon said with a seductive smile. Lover are playing. She has a big smile on her face. Anyway, this Lyra reminding you all that rape is not funny, unless it's Trixie. Then it's hilarious, especially with trees. Lyra, I'm slowly getting away. Bonbon began to playfully slip off the bed. Signing off. Coming, sweetie. Lyra dashed off. What? Oh my God. I don't know. I do not know. Trixie stood there, dressed in a purple robe as she looked over the carnage. Panting, she looked at the chainsaw at her hoof and then up at the camera. Groovy. Trixie stepped over the logs and firewood to continue on her quest. She soon came a huge chasm with a broken bridge. Trixie knows no fear. Trixie can easily teleport herself across here. With that, she jumped the ledge, feeling the air beneath her hooves. Concentrating hard, she began the teleporting across the space. Feeling the spell was complete, Trixie began to hop around. Yes! Trixie was able to do it without experience traumatizing pain. Why can't Trixie feel the air? Trixie looked down and seized the air. Oh, And with that, she fell down the chasm, taking a few minutes to climb back up to the castle. Panting, she continued to repeat her mantra about fame and glory as she stood before the castle. Inside the castle, the first thing that she saw was Eclipse sitting in the middle of the broken stones of Harmony. The dark pony looked up at the disheveled and beaten mare with an inquisitive look. Just who are you, little pony? Why have you come to the home of the Queen of the Night? She slowly stepped down, her eyes gleaming. Well, pony formerly known as Twilight, you have been graced by the great and powerful Trixie. Behind her, fireworks came out of nowhere, and a neon sign proclaiming the pony's name appeared. And Trixie is here for but one reason, and one reason only, to defeat you. She pointed her hoof at Twilight, a sneer across her face. Oh, and how are you going to do that, my dear? She looked Trixie over. Surely a meek and beaten pony had no chance of winning. What chance do you have against a pony powered by a god? By showing you what an easily killable, easily beaten and bruised, completely mortal and pony with magic can even hope to compete with a god can do. Fire then surrounded Trixie in a beautiful torrent of flame and power, her eyes burning with loads of fire and magic. It began to impress Eclipse with its beauty and raw power. I have never seen such raw power like this. Eclipse watched as the show mare continued to chant and bring forth the pure power of the flame to generate a huge fireball. In the distance, Some pony began to play Rob Zombie's Dracula as Trixie unleashed her fireball at the unicorn. Sorry. Unleashed her fireball at the unicorn. It hit her with a huge torrent of blaze. Record scratch. However, I am not so easily taken down by such untrained magic. Well, of course you wouldn't be. That is why Trixie was just giving out a small demonstration of power. Here is the real magic of lightning. Trixie watched as the lightning just powered a 10-watt light bulb that Eclipse bought out. Water! A torrent of water just merely wetted a plant. Earth! Eclipse then petted a new pet rock. Air! She then threw Aang at Eclipse, who just caught the airbender and set her down. Oh, what a great story. Okay, so magic is useless against you. Then behold Trixie's horn-fighting prowess. She charged at Eclipse, horn against horn, each one matching each other's move for move, their horn colliding in sparks. Trixie would make a few jabs, sometimes even making contact and hurting Eclipse, though Eclipse was able to return in kind. Trixie rolled under a few of Eclipse's cuts before bucking her chin. Trixie was then levitated by an alicorn spell. Well, what do we have here? A jester? You did your job excellently. I will give you that. However, I do not need rebels who think they can defeat me. Off with you! With that, Nightmare Moon put Trixie into a giant slingshot and shot her off into the sky. What? No, Pinky, don't give up. The world needs you. Remember why you need to do this in the first place. Sunny reached the end of her issue of The Legend of Ne'er-Do-Well and was shocked by the twists and turns that the issue had taken. Oh, I do hope the next issue comes out soon. To leave it hanging like this would be horrible. Sunny looked into the camera as she said this. Crashing through the bunker a few minutes later was Trixie, broken and very badly beaten. Sunny calmly using a healing spell on the young unicorn to get her back to life. Trixie seemed to underestimate the power of the god. Yes, maybe it's a good idea to reconsider strategy. Sunny opened the door for Trixie. Yes, this time Trixie will do something new and exciting, Trixie said, standing upright and bold. Yes. You will need to head to Ponyville and get 5 allies who can help you with the tests and prove themselves to be the element bearers like yourself, and become friends through fire and use that power to return the 2 ponies back to normal? No, why would Trixie do a thing like that? Trixie said, looking at Sunny perplexed. Trixie was thinking that this time she will head there with all her tricks. And with that, Trixie ran out the door. Oh well, I wonder if nuking the planet from orbit is still an option. Sunny went back inside, phone in hand. 12 hours, 14 minutes, and 3 seconds later. Sunny looked at her watch and put a bed near her as she went back into her phone call. Look, Nolan, I know it's a pony, but could you do your usual in-depth looking into why a hero is a hero with this? You can still do all your usual dark and moody stuff with this. Heck, you can even be realistic as much as you want, because I know you love it. What's it starring? A strong female protagonist. Talk to Whedon, huh? Sunny's watched as Trixie fell through the hole and onto the bed. Talk to you later. So, Trixie, how'd it go? She asked, hanging up her phone. Better than expected. The trees were nice enough to ask Trixie out before the violation could begin, Trixie said as she got healed up. So will you now go with my plan? Sunny looked at Trixie. You mean go to Ponyville, get allies, and save the day? Yes, it's just crazy enough to work. I am off, Trixie said as she ran out the door. You most certainly are, Sunny said, as she began to call Whedon about directing the Mayor Duell film. Oh, my God. I don't even know what I'm reading anymore. Tell you this much, I'd pay to see a Mayor Duell film. Okay, Trixie tried to use teens with attitude and they were busy with some demons. Tried a group of eco-teens and the less said about that the better. Tried a Death Star and now Nightmare Moon stole that away from me. Trixie slowly sipped her milkshake in Ponyville while a Dalek in the background continues to blast everything in sight. Trixie even tried Daleks. What type of allies was Trixie supposed to get here? She slumps her head down in tears. Your tears make feel bad for you, Shake? The Dalek asks Trixie another pinecone shake. I don't know. Thank you, Trixie said as she wiped her tears. You are welcome. Exterminate. The Dalek then heads off, only to be bashed into the face by a pair of orange hoofs. Woo! Things certainly have been getting off around here. The orange pony sat down with Trixie, ordering herself a small soda. So what are you all moping around here for? Well, Trixie has been sent on a glorious quest from the princess herself to defeat Nightmare Moon herself, and so far, it's failed. She takes another quick drink, looking at the direction of the Everfree forts. Wait a minute. Celestia chose you? Why? Applejack looked at Trixie weirdly. Because she can see the greatness when she sees it. After all, Trixie is the best at what she does. Trixie pointed to herself with a smile. Is that why y'all have been able to beat her yet? Applejack asked with a smirk. No, it's because Trixie lacks the resources and assist. Trixie fumbled on her own words a bit. Help with talking down the god? What? Help with taking down the god of night? Well then, I guess I can help you out then, Applejack said, chugging down the last of her drink. Really? You will be Trixie's helper? Trixie perked up with a smile. Why? Because I have a few things to point out to our new queen. Her whole entire eternal night deal is ruining our crops, cuffing into our business and making Granny Smith grumpier than grumpier. I plan on telling her what we need is light one day. She clasped her hooves together. Or another. Trixie likes your plan. Let's go. Trixie smiled as she stood up and proceeded to walk away. And who are you, by the way? The name's Applejack. Pleased to meet you, Trixie. Applejack quickly shakes Trixie's hoof. Wait, how do you know Trixie's name? Trixie looked at Applejack. Because you talk in the second person. It's really quite weird, Applejack said as they continued their walk. Talking in the second person? Trixie has no idea what you mean, Trixie said. Hey, you guys talking about taking on the Nightmare Moon Creep? I'm in! A rainbow-maned Pegasus flew just above them. The name's Rainbow Dash. And why do you want to be Trixie's personal pony Trixie means ally. Trixie looked up at a Dash. Well, for one thing, she has done something to the princess, and if I save the princess, then the Wonderbolts will have to acknowledge me. Second, she corrupted the stat student of the princess, Twilight. I knew her for only a little bit, but no pony deserves to mind wipe like that. I was kind of hoping for her to hang around here once in a while, Dash said, landing next to them. Ooh, are we having an adventuring party? I love adventuring parties. Can I join, please? Can I? A pink poofy-haired pony said, popping out of nowhere. Pinky, how long have you been listening in? Dash asked, jumping at the pink one's random appearance. Since the line break a page ago, Pinky said, jumping to join the small line that was forming as they walked further on. Breaking the literary fourth wall. Interesting. As they made their journey, they eventually encountered a marshmallow unicorn who was pulling a small cart behind her. Oh, hello there. And where are you going? Oh, we're going to meet up with Nightmare Moon. How about you? Pinky asked excitedly. Well, after seeing the dreadful wardrobe the Queen was wearing, I decided to get some brand new clothes for her that would look simply dashing on her. The young mayor pulls out a few uniforms to show the girls. Rarity, the girl's threatening to wipe out everything by starvation and coldness, and you're thinking of dressing her up? Applejack looked confused. Well, just because one is going to destroy the world because she has no idea how environments work does not mean that she should look drab while doing it, Rarity said, looking rather indignant. Wait, starvation? But what about all the innocent creatures? They need food too, a yellow Pegasus said, fluttering behind them. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to speak out loud. I just wanted to point out that all of this darkness is hurting my little animal friends too. Well then, you should talk to the Queen directly and make her know what she's doing, Dash said, flying behind Fluttershy and nudging her forward. Oh no, I couldn't. She would not like that at all, Fluttershy said as she tried to stop Dash from pushing her, but failing. This is perfect, 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 Trixie thought to herself with an evil glee. With 5 ponies, I have the most perfect cannon fodder. I'll throw the unicorn as a javelin to trick Eclipse while using the innocent one as a whip to beat the tar out of Nightmare Moon. Then we'll use the hyper one as a pony shield to gain the elements while using the boisterous one and the stupid hick as beating tools. It's the perfect plan. It's the perfect plan. Trixie then clapped her hands together gleefully. Hey, you weren't thinking of using us in a painful ways to stop Nightmare Moon, were you? Pinky asked, popping up to Trixie. No. Trixie wasn't thinking of it at all, Trixie said with a smile. A few hours later, the girls find themselves walking across the cliff that had hurt Trixie in the past. You guys go ahead of Trixie. She will follow behind you guys. Honestly, you afraid of this cliff? Applejack looked disbelievingly at what she said. Look, it's really stable. Just follow me, Applejack said, pulling Trixie along the cliff until they made their way down to the floor. This left Trixie speechless as she looked back up, remembering her 2 earlier falls. Just when it seemed like Trixie was about to thank someone for the first time, the Manticore appeared. So, Trixie adjusted her hat, bringing out a whip and looked at the Manticore. You have come back to challenge Trixie for round 3, eh? Well, joke's on you. This time, Trixie is packing. Trixie then drops her whip and brings out a bazooka. The Manticore, though in pain, smiles as he remembers the fun he had with this girl, and will always look forward to this plaything again. Wait! Fluttershy jumped in front of the bazooka and went to the Manticore. She then proceeded to fix him up and sent him on his way. You mean all Trixie had to do to avoid pain, slashing, and biting was to make him feel better? Trixie asked, eyebrow raised. Well, yes. Didn't you read the old myths? Fluttershy asked. Trixie failed English. Why do you think Trixie has a problem with the first-person pronouns? Trixie yelled. Well, shoot, I could teach you about that. You see, first off, Applejack began with her lesson as the heroes continued on their journey. The lesson here, folks, is to pay attention in school and read. As they made their way to the raging river, Trixie seemed to finally get her lesson in. So, when you were referring to yourself, you used the word I? I think I'm starting to get it. But Trixie will still talk in third person, because it's more fun that way. Trixie then looked at the raging river while Rarity began to have a nice conversation with the sea serpent. Stand back! This river is dangerous. We might need the two Pegasus to lift us over one. Darling, will you stop trying to get yourself killed and walk over here? Stephen was nice enough to give us a walkway, Rarity said, waving her arm as Trixie looked very dumbfounded. The rest of their journey took them to the place of the raping trees. As the sight of all the trees entered her vision, Trixie immediately covered herself and backed up. No, you don't want me. Take them. They're all virgins. At least I'm sure the pink-haired yellow one is. Trixie shivered. Excuse me? Rarity looked at Trixie, angry at the comment. Trixie, what are you talking about? Applejack asked as the trees began to move. Raping time. Raping time. The trees began to move closer to the 6 girls. Evil intent gleamed on their faces. Hold on. Why do you want to rape us? Pinky asked. Because we are very, very lonely, the trees said. Well, I can help with that. Here. With that, Pinky pulled down the screen and put the trees in a singles party with plenty of female trees. Here, you can find a girlfriend here, the pink pony smiled. Then pulled up the screen to see Rarity strangling Trixie. How dare you claim that I am a cheap hussy? Rarity yelled, very peeved. Well, you are the one with the most clopfics on FIM fanfiction. Oh, God. With the most clopfics on FIM fanfiction, Trixie said. Lies! Rarity yelled as she took into Trixie with a killing intent. Don't worry. It's probably just a small joke on Trixie's part, Rarity. She used to tell us about the raping trees, Pinky said, with a smile, trying to get Rarity to smile about it. I guess so. But if she tries it again, I will have her main for my new dress, Rarity said, an evil smile on her face. The last leg of their journey took them to the gorge, and again Trixie was expecting to try to pull the same stunt she did before. This time, though, she watched as Dash flew over to the other side and began to fix the bridge for them. Trixie couldn't help but smile as she walked with her cannon fodder, almost forgetting her previous plan to use them as weapons and have them help her. This thought continued to intrude on her mind as they made their way to the lair of Nightmare Moon and Eclipse. The 2 ponies of darkness sat on the throne, seeing Trixie and the others walk into the room. Oh, and what is this? My personal jester here to offer a good laugh once again? Nightmare Moon asked, looking down at Trixie. No, this time Trixie is here to defeat you. Why? Because this time Trixie has friends. As Trixie made this declaration, the room glowed in a brilliant light, and the stones that were once the elements began to arise and transform. These ponies have shown Trixie through their honesty, kindness, generosity, laughter, and loyalty that Trixie doesn't have to be alone in her battles. She can be big enough to admit that she would need help, and that help in turn makes the adventure all the more great. For having a team on her side made this adventure truly magical, Trixie yelled. As she did, the elements appeared on each one of their prospective owners. Lastly, the tiara of magic appearing on Trixie's hat as they are overcome with the pure power of harmony. Now, taste the rainbow, motherfracker! And with that, a powerful rainbow shot out of Trixie and the others to wrap around Eclipse and Nightmare Moon, zapping them. Oh, I have wasted my life, Nightmare Moon said as she was hit with the rainbow. A few minutes pass, and soon everyone recovers, as well as the sun once again returning to normal. Well, where's Trixie fame? The glory? The crowds? Trixie yelled, looking around. I'm afraid they aren't coming, Trixie. This was more of a way to save my student and young sister, Celestia said, appearing before all of them. Tia! I'm so sorry about being evil and cruel, Luna said, racing to her beloved sister's side. I am sorry too, Princess. I allowed myself to get caught by the power of Nightmare Moon, and Trixie was stopped mid-apology by Twilight was stopped mid-apology by Trixie. What? Trixie went through hell just to reunite your sister and to fix your student? This is an outrage! Trixie has never been so insulted in her life. Trixie then threw down her tiara at Twilight's hooves. Here, take your stupid element. It looked horrible on Trixie anyway. And take these friends of Trixie's too. Trixie can't believe this. Of all the bad... Trixie mumbled and grumbled as she stepped out of the castle, then stopped and turned around. But if you ever need Trixie again for help or maybe to just hang around, we could... At that point, she was grabbed by Pinky, who pulled her into a hug. Well, of course you can. As a matter of fact, why not stay with Twilight? You two could learn from each other, Pinky said happily. Me? At the library? But I've got to stay with Princess Celestia, Twilight said, looking up at her teacher. I think that would be a great idea. Trixie can learn about friendship from her new friends, and you can learn how to better yourself by reading books, training her, and making new friends, Celestia said, looking down at Twilight. Wait, learn about... Does this mean... Trixie looked up at Celestia with a big grin. Yes, you will be Twilight's student and study buddy, Celestia said. It's a start, Trixie said. The end. Author's note. The story you have just seen is true in a different universe. The spelling mistakes, grammatical errors are all my fault. I had no idea what I was doing when writing this. It came to me out of nowhere. I had a thought while watching Sonic Underground about the Oracle who told Robotnik about the prophecy and how you don't really do that to the bad guy. Then I thought about what would happen if Nightmare Moon had that info, and then thought about Trixie's journey and how different it would be if the vain one tried the journey. I also did this in an attempt to branch out into just pure comedy instead of the adventure tales I usually come up with. The rape gags come from my love of the Evil Dead trilogy, and my hate of rape as drama in general. If Fluttershy seemed like her intro was rushed to get her in, it's because I had no idea why she was going to go with them and came up with something on the fly. Yes, the Legend of Ne'er-Do-Well comic gags are based off of the awesome fanfic by JD2K. You should go read that instead of this insane dreck. Also, can you imagine how this show would be different now, with Trixie living with Twi? Well, that was a great story. I enjoyed that a lot. A lot more than I really thought I was going to. Not bad for a cold read. But you can see why I usually don't do them, because I tend to derail a little bit. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this listening and this reading as much as I did. And I hope to be doing more very soon. So, until next time, Dark Shadow Films 101 here, signing off.